This Technically Together episode is probably more for me than for anyone else. Join us as I try to discuss with Joshua how to be less mad. Also, what might just be my favorite Technically Together tangent thus far, somehow we ended up with a mini mukbang in this episode. Enjoy. Hello, this is... Wait. Oh, I screwed it up. Let's do that again.
You were on track though.
Is it your turn? Is it my turn?
It was your turn if I remember correctly.
So yeah, I'm Isa.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Technically Together.
And we're technically together.
Oh gosh. Well, semantics, babe. Semantics.
Semantics.
I don't know. It is quite early. I have an extra cup of coffee this. What will be probably a long day for me. But today's topic, and this is more self-serving, okay? This is more for me than probably for the people who will be watching, because right now I need this in my life. And I want to ask, and I want to talk about how to be less mad, because I am a very mad person. And like for a while, it's been working. It's been happy. I've been like being driven by the anger, you know, like it was propelling me forward and inspiring me to do things. Mm-hmm. But now it's like I'm feeling tired, and now I'm done. I'm done being mad.
So,
and like, although I want to point out that like I don't think there's anything wrong with being mad, as long as like it helps you, right? Like it's an emotion, you have to feel it, you have to go through the motions. But like right now I'm done, so how can I be less mad?
Well, this is going to be, I don't mean to take the show off the rails. I did want to propose one thing. So if that's our main topic for the episode, I was wondering if you would want to riff a little bit before we dive deeper into that.
Sure.
And this actually, I can tie it back. This is one of the ways that you can maybe have a little bit of an easing on the madness. Let's call it the madness, because I think that's what it is. It's just, one of them is maybe not the most constructive thing, but being distracted does help. So there's this whole funny thing about how we have so many distractions in our lives, and I know that I've had to deal with it the last week, where I just have stuff playing in the background, or I end up watching it, I get distracted by it, or you're on things like, let's say, social media, and that's a distraction as well. What sucks though is that what's on social media is often talking about the stuff that makes you mad, right? Which is why recently,
go on.
I finally got into TikTok. Like, I have to put that out there.
Thank you. I know. Oh, I sent you a TikTok though.
So here's the thing. Well, I'll get to that in a second, because I did see it in the messages. What I find so interesting, and I had a couple of talks about this with TK in the past, because when he got into TikTok, he was actually trying to create stuff also with him and his son, which is really cute, and like it's really awesome to see him
Hi, Omar.
Yeah, and he was diving into it, and they were having a lot of fun with it. And I just kept asking him, like, what is the whole point, blah, blah, blah.
What's the deal?
And it wasn't until recently when you and I started watching, like, productivity YouTubers and productivity influencers that one of them, Vanessa Lau, said, one of the things you can do is when you're watching through TikTok, you can like the ones that you think you can recreate later. And
that's what I do.
So once I started doing that, I was like, oh, snap. Okay, now I kind of get it. Like, from a consumer standpoint, there's already some obvious, like, benefits. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I cry laugh, like, once every session now.
Okay. I just want to point it out. The first time I ever got to TikTok, I was with you. I was in the States, and I just randomly downloaded it. And you saw me waste whole afternoons laughing on dog TikToks. And, like... It's amazing. I have to find my way into dog TikTok again, because I lost it somewhere along the way.
I stumbled
that's
into
how
it
their
a little
algorithm
bit
works.
Night.
Yeah, but it's amazing how quick the algorithm evolves. Because now I'm on like funny TikTok, feminist TikTok, but like I was on dog TikTok for so long. Like my original account had only dogs on it, and it was amazing. Yeah. But yeah, I just remember because you were laughing at me. You were like, look at my girlfriend going crazy over TikTok,
Yeah.
being,
Well, I sent my brother and Brian a couple of TikToks that were just making me cry laugh, and they were totally into it as well. There are some, like, I think I got into TikTok at the perfect time because last month was Mental Health Awareness Month. So
Yeah.
there are so many TikToks that I think we all need right now, where people are just getting in front of the camera and they're just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, you're awesome, you're wonderful. Please don't, like, know your worth, and I just want you to know that I love you." All these things, and just a bunch of people just trying to,
babe.
like.
I'm kidding.
It's not true unless I send you a TikTok of me doing it. And then, but yeah, like there's a ton of those, and it warmed my heart, and it kind of made me feel like, oh, okay. So there are, I don't know, a platform is a platform is important, but also the people who use the platform are important as well. Those are the two factors. Yeah. And even if you could say certain things about a platform, like let's say Facebook, if all of the users were using it for good and for, like, actually being very genuine on the platform, then that's fine. Unfortunately for Facebook,
like, again,
both are bad.
It's just the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, again, it's just the platform though. Like, it's the people on it that make it or break it.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody the TikTok you sent? Because this is my first time
I can't
using...
even remember because I have so many TikToks. But, like, let me just round back to why I love my new TikTok couple. Like Chris and Ian.
It was one of those, yeah.
Because, like, was it? Because they do videos where they go, like, how to get this man's attention. And then they go, like, girl, no, you don't need this. Like, it's all very empowering. And they're, like, all about focusing on their own blooming. And I want to focus on my blooming. And that's... They actually have merch, and I'm gonna get it because it says, like, focus on your blooming. It's so nice. And there's a pink one. So, like, I'm probably, like, gonna figure... They're in LA. They're in LA now. Can you find them and be friends with them?
Olsen and Chris?
Chris Olsen and Ian Paget.
Yeah. I thought the name
They're
of
in an Airbnb in West Hollywood.
Oh, okay. I thought the name
Why do I know this?
I thought the name of the account was Olsen and Chris, but maybe I'm incorrect.
No, because it's Chris Olsen. He's actually, like, half Filipino, apparently. I just randomly saw a video of his lola.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, it's Chris Olsen. That's his full name, and he has Dude, I love.
Yeah, the name of the account is at Olsen and Chris. So that was what I was trying to say. Huh? Yeah. His name is Chris Olsen, but the name of the account, it says at Olsen and Chris. So that's why it was.
That's weird. Okay. I didn't even notice, but it's pretty cool. I don't know. I just love them. They're my new favorite TikTok couple.
They're pretty cool, and I've stumbled upon them a few times. You've shown me their stuff. The one you sent me was I just wanted to ask you why. I just wanted to ask you why you felt like sending me this one, because it's I want to say Chris going to Dunkin' Donuts to get a.
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, what about this made you want to send it to me particularly?
I mean, donut.
I do love
boyfriend
donuts.
Getting boyfriend donut.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost chili. It's all you. It has your name on it. It was like a TikTok made for you. Well, also, they're in LA. So, like, again, you can be their friend and come up to them and be like, here's a donut. Let's eat it together.
Well,
can we be friends with them?
Well, here's the first step, I hope.
You have it?
So here is the spicy ghost pepper.
My audio's so bad.
Here is the spicy ghost pepper donut. Let me get this to focus if I can.
I want one. How does it taste? Is it good? Tell me. Oh my god.
So I figured. So I went to I used the what is going on here? Why is my there you go. What I ended up doing was I looked at it and I saw a lot of stories about this ghost pepper donut, and it's a Halloween donut and all that, fine.
Ghost pepper hot.
So I went on the app, and apparently it's one of the easiest things you can do is just you order on the app and then you just drive through. So what you do is you go to the window and you just say your name, and they're like, oh yeah, we got your order, and then here you go, and they just handed me the bags. So I got this.
I'm so jealous.
I got this and a couple of other ones so my parents could try it, but I imagine my parents are not going to like it because I'm the one who can take it.
Have you tried it?
I'm about to.
Do it.
I was going to do it. This is my first
This is the first time?
Yeah, I was going to do it on the show. So I'm sorry that you can't have any with me, but at least you're the one with coffee.
I know. You know what? You know what? The one thing I hate about okay, let me reverse it because we're being all positive. The one thing I love about being there with you in California is that you have access to all these things we don't. So it's not just that. It's like on iPhone day you can get an iPhone. I'm still waiting to order mine. I'm still waiting on my Apple Watch, and like just a tiny bit like a little more mababaw, but you can get ghost donuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I can take spice. I have heard that this is about as spicy as like a spicy chicken sandwich. Like the
That's
level
not
of
so
spice.
spicy, right?
It is,
mean,
but we'll see.
To
As
the to the shit we eat. To the
Yeah.
shit we eat. That's like
Yeah.
comparatively not so spicy.
I mean,
Okay, I'm
this is gonna be
curious.
this is gonna be. I'm sure this will be nothing on the level of like your cousin's restaurant. So,
Oh my
but-
god. Yeah, you guys should eat there.
all right, here we go.
And it's pink
Is
too.
it,
Though.
is it ASMR?
Stop!
So there is a kick. It's definitely not that spicy for me.
Is
Swallowing
it
now.
good?
It's a regular donut. Granted, it's
Is it
Dunkin.
sweet?
When I first saw all of the stories this morning, I kept thinking it was Krispy Kreme. No, it was Dunkin' Donuts. The way that which kind of disappointed me because at least at Krispy Kreme, usually the donuts are made fresh. So this has obviously been sitting for a while. But you know what? The frosting is
It's not
fine.
as fresh.
The
Or is it like, I mean, it's not the freshness. It's like the donut, Dunkin' Donut style. You know what I mean?
it's fine. Like it's good. The frosting is just like there's no flavor to the frosting. There's just heat. So it's just sugar. So you're just eating
Oh.
sugar. You know what I mean? So the it's not like a pumpkin donut where the frosting tastes like pumpkin or something like that. Instead, it's like it's regular good old frosting just infused with a lot of ghost pepper like powder or something in it.
Wait,
That
so
said-
the ghost pepper, so it's like, so it's the frosting is a vessel for the ghost pepper powder.
There are
And then
these
there's sweetness.
crystals up here, these sugar crystals that I think have ghost pepper extract in them. And I don't, it's not a lot. It's definitely not, I've had ghost pepper before, like straight up. Well, not straight up. I've had it in a burger, which had slices of ghost pepper in it. So technically straight up. It's ghost pepper is no joke. Like it's bad. And if you get something that is like trying to preserve the heat of the ghost pepper, it'll be a bad time. But
Yeah,
this,
but always like in a different thing. It's like it's never as hot, right?
yeah. So this is fine. Like, you know, if you want to like challenge your taste buds a little bit, go for it. Especially if you're someone who's not into spice. I'm into spice, so this is kind of nothing to me.
But like how do the flavors mesh?
The flavor. So the main thing I'll say is the heat from the ghost pepper in the frosting meshes well with the soft raised dough. Like those are really
Would
nice.
you buy it to eat it?
For $1.89, yeah. But if it was anything more
Would you
than
buy
this,
it for me thinking I'd want it? Is all I need to know.
I'd like. Well, after you show me that TikTok, I would definitely get you one. Yeah. Because
No,
you
but
know,
like if you end up tasting it and you taste it, would you be like, "Ooh, Isa would love this."
nah, I would still
No.
get you Donut Man. I would get you something else. You know me.
Donut man.
You know me. Like I nothing against Starbucks or Dunkin' or anything like that. But there's this running joke in the tech space with people who know me that it's like it's not Josh approved, it's not JV approved because I'm the foodie. I'm the one that's like, man, if you want good coffee, let me just make you some in my Chemex, bro. Like I got this. Like I got beans from Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean,
like
you do that. Except
yeah.
I like your parents' Costco beans better, so.
Well, only because it's already made.
I remember you bought these expensive beans, and I'm like, I don't like them because they're asim, they're sour.
Really.
Yeah, and then like your dad was offering me like either their Barako or their Costco coffee, and I'm like, I still like that better, and that's why you were like, okay, Isa, you're not drinking the expensive coffee because you don't appreciate any.
Well, maybe I got the Hawaiian beans, which were like $40
Yeah.
for a bag, and then we still had I think we still had the Barako. And
Yeah.
it's
No. I
just-
think it was even the Costco one.
really, because it's like those are not bad or anything. It's just on the spectrum of like basic to not, there's this whole spectrum there where you can get beans from a place, or you can get coffee or tea or anything. Like, I'm not just talking about coffee. You can get food and drink that all have nuance to it, but they're all still sort of in this like basic category. So, oh yeah, it's vanilla bean coffee that tastes great, but it's still so close to just regular diner coffee that I can tell, like, you know, I'm definitely one of those finer things in life people where I want to.
Yeah.
But in any case,
I mean, you like certain things.
Here's the last bite, by the way. So just like you know.
I mean, I don't think like okay. Let me. I think you're only a snob if you like certain things. Wow, everyone's just trying to get in on this podcast. Do you hear the dogs? I can hear the dogs.
That's okay.
Here
It's
I
part
am
of.
trying to like it's. Shut up. Anyway, I think you're only a snob if one you like
Hard stop.
finer
I think you're
things.
only a snob.
No, no. Okay. I think it's only bad that you're a snob if you want like finer things only because they're expensive and can't really tell the difference.
Oh
Like
no.
that has always been like crap for me. And two, if you like finer things and shove it up other people's faces. Because like you can like finer things, that's fine because that's your preference. But if other people don't like it for one reason or the next, some people might not like it because personally they just don't like it, without regard to the fact of it being finer, or they just don't want it because it's more expensive. Like if you like sort of shove it up their faces because of that, that's like, I think that's where like just, no, that's just,
And
no.
just a small colloquialism correction. Shove it in their faces, not up their faces. Because every time you say shove it up, I keep thinking their ass. I'm not trying to shove a ghost pepper up someone's ass.
Maybe
That's
I
horrible.
want to say their ass, but I'm trying to be like, again, nicer and less mad. That's a step. Ass to face. Oh wait, that sounds wrong.
Oh no, let's.
I'm gonna stop. Full stop.
Reminds me yet another TikToker. Do you watch No Thanks Alex?
Is she the girl who works at a grocery store?
I don't think she is now.
With
half Filipino,
Wait.
raised in Japan, and she reminds me a lot of you in terms of how outspoken she is about issues, but she's actually really funny, and yeah, so
she's half Filipina, the one who does the like God TikToks.
I saw Devil. Yeah, I saw the Devil TikToks.
Yeah, because
Satan.
I follow two girls that I like. I think that half Filipina girl who, but I mean, I say that because she is, not because her content is showy of being half Filipina though. Because there are half Filipinas who, so I think I follow her. And then there's another girl who's so funny. She works at a grocery store and she has this pop socket with like girl talk, girl power or something behind it. I forget her name. I don't even know their names.
It just reminds me of her shock value TikTok from the other day. She was sitting in the car with her boyfriend and she just hits record and she looks over and just yells at him, "I'm gonna eat your ass." And he just turns around and he's just like, the fuck? And that's the end. It's like you don't get anything. So funny how people can cut off, just so funny. All right, so I just want it was
I'm imagining it like this is TikTok for you. This is TikTok working for you. It's like you're laughing over a 6-second clip.
Exactly.
You're just like, what?
So it's okay, so I just wanted to try to tie in a little bit of but it's true that lately my distraction has been TikTok the last few days, and when I had my first cry laughing fit, it made me feel better, and I was happy that at least I get it now. People were saying that there's this platform where it's just like all fun. It's just fun. And yes, there is political stuff. Yes, there is stuff that could be meant to like sort of invoke the wrong feelings. But the majority of it is reactions to said things. That's what I noticed. So replies and duets and all that. So yeah, I mean, I'm into it.
Just touching on the political stuff though, and I haven't found your side of the world TikTok who does this, and probably it's because like again, I'm into our politics because it's our politics and not yours. So I do follow a bunch of creators who do funny and political commentary. And I actually met one of these people I followed in the Vivo shoot I did, which is why I was super thrilled to be part of it, because like I really follow him. And I just want to point at like that, because I cannot say it. Like that is my dream for my content, and I
Mm-hmm.
say it in Tagalog. Like I want it equal parts informative, equal parts charot. Like my dream content is always half funny, half informative,
Yep.
which is, for context, why I did that alcohol review video that went viral in my side of the world, because like I needed it to be like socially aware, but I also needed it to be funny. And a hard lesson that I learned from last week, speaking to a comedian friend of mine, was that, angry content is funny only when it's funny, but if it's just angry,
It's
it's
just,
just
yeah,
angry.
it's not funny. Yeah, it's
Yeah, so that's a hard because so my content, because I do have another like avenue, another channel where I post stupid things and not tech things. And like for a while it was funny angry, but now it's just hinging more on angry. And like
mm,
I was taking a step back and thinking, you know what? I feel like I'm it's too much. The anger is too much now.
yeah.
So that's why, tying back to our topic, I want to be like less mad. But it's also, and it took a stranger for me to realize this. I reposted a story from our Cabo trip from 2 years ago, and I was like living my best life from like Mexico and shooting with a Note 9, Joshua shooting with a Note 9. And someone replied, "You're still living your best life." And
Mm.
I'm like, holy shit, you're right. I mean, it's like it took a stranger to blah, 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 blah. Okay, to randomly reply to me and tell me that, for me to realize that. And sometimes it's like, wait, you're right. And it's it's your whole gratitude practice, right?
Yep.
I have not been like doing any of
Well,
that at all. Actually, I have not been exercising. I need endorphins, which is probably why, because like I've been feeling pretty crummy and mad. So
same.
it's like it's putting that all into practice for me. For me, I think what helps with my mood is like the exercise and the moving around, which I haven't been doing a lot of, and like these little things that make me happy, which again I have not like been doing a lot of. So it's getting caught up in all the work and all that's happening, and it's like I take a step back and I'm like, dude, no, you should be thankful. Like you are stuck, because lately I've also been feeling like I'm missing a lot of things. I've been missing like hanging out with you, or I've been missing beaches, or actually like just going out. And I think what people were feeling 3 months into the lockdown, I am really getting hit hard by now. It's
Yeah.
like I've noticed that I usually have like a long tolerance for shit that I go through. And I think at this point now I'm feeling like the cabin fever, the missing everything, the stress. Like I it's there's so many things in my brain's exploding, but not in a good way.
Well, here we go. Like, here's the thing, because I know that with you, once you get into a role of get on a roll rather, once you get on a roll of expressing all of the things that are affecting you, it snowballs until it becomes a whole fucking mountain. And most of the time, what you need to do, and I've told you this before, and I'm sure people have told you this as well, is to slow it down. Even if you are trying to get it all out there, you can slow it down a little bit, which is really and by the way, like, again, just like I said in our productivity episode, these are all things that we still fail on as people. So just because I'm saying this doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm great at it. But that's part of the reason why I talk about the whole writing things down. I haven't even really done that a whole lot recently, but it's less about the act of writing things down and more the mental, just the mental dump of like get it out
Yeah.
there so that it's not all in your brain that you need to like let it all out so much. And you know what? Like recently, I've been really upset about stuff. Also, I felt like absolute crap over the weekend, and I didn't do a whole lot. And it's one of those things where you can continuously, once you're already in a state of despair, it's so easy to find other things to be despaired by because
Yeah.
you're in the feeling already. So you just continue the feeling,
Yeah.
and you're familiar with the feeling, so you find more. And
I
honestly,
mean, so yeah.
oh, I was just going to say my first thing would always be that we have to slow ourselves down first of all to realize that once we are recognizing our own triggers, we can figure out what to do once we make that step. Because most of the time we don't recognize the triggers, we just unload. We're not actually taking the time to know, oh, this is what made me upset, or this is why I'm upset, or anything like that. And after that, the other thing I would say is, a lot of the times, like when you think about it, when you think about the 3-month in quarantine people who lost their minds and started to like let it out on everyone around them, hence rates of divorce have gone up, domestic abuse has gone up. Yep.
Well, I mean, in the Philippines we don't have divorce, so
so at least statistically here, like rates of abuse in homes has gone up and rates of divorce have gone up. And it's a pretty it tells me a few different things, but to focus in on our actual point here, what I see or what I think when I hear that is there's nothing. One of the easiest things that we have done in 2020 is compare. And we pass judgment on literally everything. When in reality, a lot of the stuff that happens in this life, we don't have to judge it so hard. Like, once you see that we've been 3 months locked up in the house, what do? You compare it to 2019 when we went to Japan 3 times. Oh, of course 2020 sucks. So I fucking hate 2020, blah, blah, blah. And it's like...
That's true though.
Well, then I'm
starting to miss stuff because I'm seeing like what we did last year and I'm like, I could have gone out and I'm like, I'm looking at this iPhone situation and I'm like, but the plan was I was gonna get it and blah 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 and do that. And
in creating that comparison in your brain to something that, number one, right now you can't even control what's going on right now. We can't. No matter how much we want to. Like, there's just very little. Like, do you want me to get on a plane to go to the Philippines where I can show up and we can't even do much?
We don't want anyone getting on a plane to go to the Philippines.
Well, fair. But like, do you want me traveling? Do you want me to be traveling when I could get this virus and my diabetes means I have a death sentence? Like, these are all things we can't control. So on the one hand, we can't control the current situation, but on the other hand, we can't go back in time. It's literally impossible. We can't go back to those times that we've already lived. So by creating those comparisons, we're also opening ourselves up to just judging everything. And when we start judging things, usually the easiest thing to judge is the bad stuff. And we put ourselves in a headspace that is so toxic and deconstructive.
I mean, it's also, for me, on the other hand, it's brushing it under the rug. So I have this thing where if I'm upset about something, I sort of ignore it to the point where I pretend it's not there. So it doesn't bother me. And then like it compounds into a thing that snowballs. So yesterday I had so much to do, but I was feeling very cluttered, so I literally stopped and had a glass of wine and thought the things I needed to think about, even if I knew it would upset me, because like otherwise it would like just spill over in other things. But then because I started thinking about the things that potentially upset me, now I feel like it's like, how do I get out of that? Because I can't not think about it. You know what I mean?
Well, again, the fact of the matter is, what can we control? What can we focus on right now? And you know what? Let me put this out there. If all you can focus on is resting, that is important too. So this whole idea that we keep putting morality on top of all the tasks we have to do, where this is a phrase we've all said. I've heard you say it. You've heard me say it, babe. If I don't do this, I'm a terrible person. Whether it's exercise, eating right, whether it's productivity based or anything like that, we may not say it out loud, but it's what we think. Like, we are terrible today because we have not done XYZ. Putting morality on tasks is another way that we pass judgment on things that don't really merit that kind of judgment. The things we can't control take over our lives and make us have those terrible mindsets about ourselves, which is horrible. Like, that we are actually trying to actively gaslight ourselves and again, we do this all the time to ourselves. We do it. Like, it's not that we're perfect at not doing it. But when we put morality clauses on all of that, it makes it really tough to get out of the hole once you fall into it.
But I mean, I think there are some things that have morality connected to it. Like, internally, of course, things like eating or exercising or stuff like that. Like, fine, I get that. Wait, I'm trying to think about it. Because when you say morality on things and morality on things we do, it's still, like, I'm still a firm believer in having to do certain things connected to what we do to advocate for the greater good.
Well, I'm not talking about the greater good. I'm talking about what we have in front of us, what we have to do right now. Like, I'm not talking about morality as in the royal morality. I'm not talking about the world right now. I'm talking about us, how we get mad at things, what things we can control, and the things that we have in front of us that we have to do. Like, morality as a general concept, have good morality, be a good person, absolutely. Like, do things that are for the greater good. But it is not constructive to beat yourself up at the end of the day thinking you're a terrible person because you didn't do 10 push-ups. It's not a good thing that at the end of the day, you look at the 5 things you wanted to do, and only because you did 2, you still think you're a terrible person. You know that I've gone through that. And
But so, like, I don't feel like I'm a bad person. I feel like there are bad people. And that's what this
yeah, again, I'm not talking about
think.
all of them. I'm talking about our
Yeah, no, but
internal
that's
struggles.
why I'm mad, though. Like, I'm not mad at myself. I'm mad at other people, and that's why I'm stuck.
So
Is
there's
that a proud thing to say? Like, I'm not even, I don't even put blame on myself. I know I'm doing my best as
Yes.
with other people, but I'm mad at the other people who put us in this situation in the first place.
yeah.
And like, it's all boils down to like me talking about why I'm mad in that other mental health video. It boils down to like what I've lightly touched on in other podcasts and content. Like, I am still mad at that, and that's still the anger I do not know what to do with. It's not like I have tried my best to better myself and do what best things I can do given the situation. And that's all I can do, right?
I think that's where most of it is. Like, I probably am the worst person to ask. Well, not the worst person. I'm probably not a great person to ask for this kind of thing because I can be just as reactionary as you or reactive as you. Because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on around here as well. And I've literally found myself just being so upset that I'll just sit in this chair and watch 6 episodes of Parks and Rec because it's the only thing that brings me comfort. And but yeah, that is the rub though, is that you are doing the best you can, and when it is literally all that you can do in those situations that are outside of you, that you have no control over, we have to just focus on what is in front of us. And we're not sweeping things under the rug. We're not trying to say that those things don't exist. It's just that right now, even if someone in Baldwin Park literally lit a ballot box on fire, I have to finish my video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That literally happened, by the way, and that was the thing the other day
Yeah,
that
I
made
know,
me
I read
I
about
wanted to punch a wall so hard when I saw that, because I was like, okay, let me just say this real quick, like, because we've actually had like to voice out opinions about certain things recently. If you think that wearing a mask infringes on your rights, but you are applauding somebody for potentially burning ballots, up to 200 ballots in a majority minority neighborhood, you don't fucking know what rights are.
It's like,
and here I am getting mad.
Sometimes.
This is the antithesis of our episode, motherfucker.
No, it's like sometimes I read the news and I'm just like, we're living in opposite world. Like, it's unreal. It's become so absurd that this is what we're reading on the
there's no removing those stories, unfortunately, in the world that we live in right now, and honestly potentially forever, because human nature has been this way. We are just able to read about every single shitty thing that happens as it happens. That's literally what 2020 is. We have Twitter, we have TikTok, we have the local news, we have 24-hour news networks, we have fake news, we have all of these things that literally are inundating us with nothing but bullshit every single day. The thing is, like someone told me, you know what? 40 years ago in the 70s, same thing. You still had the same amount of you still had the same separation and groups of people being shitty to one another. It's just now, as it happens, someone tweets it, you learn about it, you get mad 80 times a day. It sucks, you know. Like we're in the best and worst generation right now, and the like I said, it's really up to us to like say enough is enough. Not to say that we are not being advocates or not not actually trying to do better. It's just that a lot of these things are literally outside of the control we have as individuals. And the only thing that I can think of these days, the only thing I can think of these days is I'm actually at the point now where I'm working really hard to be successful enough to where I can create a happy life. That's really all I want to do now. Is like not to necessarily remove myself from all of these things, but to make sure that even with those things happening, I can live a happy life with you, the both of us.
I want those things too, but it's just I sometimes I pause and I look at the timeline of my life and I'm like, when did I care so much? Where was it? What happened? Because I was completely happy being oblivious to the facts of the world. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do I care so much? Like, it's gotten to that point, like, where I'm trying to pinpoint what shifted, why I'm so mad, why I care so much. Because I see other people who don't care. And they seem like they're living perfectly happy lives. And it's like, to be that ignorant.
I don't know. I don't know if
blessing.
I don't really know if those people are like, not all of them. I can't speak for all of them, but I don't know if some of them are really. Some people have made it clear that they are very willfully ignorant, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, I'm talking about those people. I'm not
Okay.
talking about the people who don't show outer distress. Because, like, okay, and we've talked about this because you once asked me, like, you were feeling bad about what was happening from my side of the world, and you actually verbalized this. You said, like, said, like, I personally don't speak out about, like, what's happening in your side of the world, and you're also, like, half Filipino. Like, am I one of those people who are oblivious to it? And what was my response? My response was, well, no, because, like, it would depend on you as a person how you express your concern or how you deal with the information. Like, so okay, let me backtrack. I am not calling people out for not speaking out. I'm calling people out who willfully don't care.
Yeah.
Because there are people like that. And I get that even if you're not speaking out, it's possible that you are, like, doing or reacting in your own way.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. My thing is, like, there are people who willfully talk about who talk about willfully not caring.
Yeah. I mean,
and
those are
even
terrible.
hate on
Like,
people who speak out.
well, you
And
know,
I'm just like, I'm trying not to care here. I'm trying to be okay mentally because, like, this is affecting me so much. So it's like sometimes I don't even want to read the news, but I know I want to, but I can't because I get so mad. And it's like, this
is what I mean by I'm not the best person to ask this, because even I know, being your boyfriend, being the person who has talked to you through these certain things, there is literally nothing I or anyone else can say to stop you from getting mad at the people who ultimately have nothing to do with you. Yeah, but they ultimately have nothing to do with you. So, like, if an influencer
which one?
Well, if an influencer, let's say on TikTok or Instagram, makes it very clear that they're just like, yeah, you know, I don't care about that shit, and then it ruins your day, like, that's really.
I mean, a few things though. Like, one, it will ruin my day because I live in the social media capital of the world, where an election was won because of Facebook disinformation. And this happened to us before it happened anywhere else in the world. So I will put fault on people who sow disinformation on social media because this is precisely how we got here. And I know there are people who do this who are not ignorant even. They know better, but they do it for their own benefit. So I am so mad at that. And so if there's someone who gives me that shit, I will, like, my day will get ruined.
And that's what I'm trying to...
So many people come to mind right now.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at, is that, like, when you know that is the reaction you'll have, and it will take a toll on you as a person and in your health and mental, like, there comes a point where it's almost as if you have a friend who just won't stop fucking up, and it affects you. And one day you just got to tell yourself, you know what? I can't be your friend anymore. Like, I can't fucking do it anymore. I just can't. Because you are literally ruining my life by being my friend and bringing me down. That's the same relationship that we have with social media right now.
Yeah, but it's not like, so when I talk about social media, though, it's connected to our governance. So I can't say I'm gonna cut ties with, like, the people who run my country, who run this shit. That's my problem, and that's where I get stuck at. Because, like, if you were a toxic friend, I'd be like, oh, fuck you. But, like, I can't be all like, fuck you if this is where my taxes are going.
I get that. And it's not again, because I didn't say it yet. The systemic issues that end up affecting you, yes, that does really suck.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking in the micro sense of, if you're sitting there right now with 6 videos that you have to do in the next 5 days, and you're spending your time being upset at everything that's not those 6 videos, like, that's the thing. Like, I have to look at it from just these 2 eyeballs, you know, because now again, like I said before, if I feel like I'm burned out and I just need to take a moment, then I will. It's just that I also have to be very wary that even if I'm going to sit here and be reactive to everything, if that ultimately makes my life worse, and the only thing I can control is whether or not I am reactive to it, that's the thing I gotta fix or focus on. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, because I mean, logically, if you can't fix the thing you're reacting to, you have to fix how you're reacting to it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to say, and I don't know how
to do that, because there is a certain guilt with me, knowing that this affects me and I should care more. How does this... I know I'm privileged enough to be able to ignore certain things right now. To ignore it more than some people can. But there's also, like, guilt in it, just ignoring it and not being mad.
But the thing is, when you're mad, who does your madness help, in the sense of, like, because if you're not ignoring something, you're doing something about it. The thing is, what I was trying to say earlier is, you're not ignoring it. It's still there. You know that you're upset about it. You know what your feelings are about that thing. By ignoring it, if you're truly ignoring it, you're being more like those other people we were talking about, who are willfully being ignorant about it. You are the least ignorant person I've ever met in my goddamn life. Like, you are always in tune.
I'm not sure that's a compliment, but thank you. I was going to say thank you.
Like, what I mean is, you have an opinion on literally everything. And...
I mean, literally everything calls for it, though.
Well, true. But the thing is, because you have those opinions, because you have those principles and those thoughts, if you take time to focus on you, and you take time to focus on not being mad all the damn time, it doesn't mean you lost those principles. Whose guilt are you trying to appease? If it's just your own, then you got to look inward. You got to look at yourself about that. But if it's performative, we know that performative is not true support. Performative is nice. It's just not true support. So if you're just trying to get really pissed off and get on TikTok and be mad so that other people can see that you're mad, it ain't about you anymore. And that's a problem.
Point.
So that's what I'm trying to say is, you got to focus on you, but focusing on you doesn't mean you forget everything else. I still am mad about...
Both can be true.
Both can be true. I'm still really pissed off that someone actually lit 200 ballots on fire. And do I want to do something about that? Absolutely. But can I? Not really. So I better just get my vote in. First of all, that's from my context. I know that your context is different, but I just got to do my part, get my vote in, and focus on me. Do my thing.
Yeah.
And no one's going to think you're any less of an activist or an advocate or a person because you're not talking about these things more often. Like, even the people in your household right now are probably not going to like sit you down and go, is something wrong, because you were less pissed off all day. Like, no one's going to say that.
I want to be less pissed off. I honestly want to be less pissed off. I want to be sunshine and butterflies and unicorns and glitter and pink shit. It's like,
And I wish I could do more, like tying to the name of this podcast technically together, because in any other situation, if we were together physically and you ran into a situation where you were really upset about something, like,
probably get me a donut.
I would say, hey, like, I'm probably on your side, more than likely on your side, turn around, go, hey, that's fucked up, fuck you, and then we go somewhere else. Like, that's what I would do. But I know that right now we're not able to do that. So that's why we have to get internal. We have to be more internal about all of these things and figure out how we fundamentally are able to tackle these things. Because you can't just do that.
Yeah.
And then that's what I would do. I would look over and say, hey, that's fucked up. Let's go catch a movie. And we could at least go do something else so that that thing doesn't bother us. You know what I mean?
It's I don't know. I don't know.
I think
makes sense.
I think
It's
ultimately it's how you want to. It's, you even say it yourself. You tell me this all the time. You did tell me this all the time. It's how you react to things that matter. Because a lot of the stuff that a lot of the stuff that happens will happen.
Yeah, so I am actually trying to work on that. In a lot of things, I want to be like less reactionary and more intentional. But it's just so hard when people do so much stupid things, and it's like it's really stupid. It's really stupid, and it's just like,
As terrible as it is.
why do you have why are you being such a stupid shit right now?
Well,
And it's like, I'm here trying to be happy and like put out things that, I don't know, things, and just you're there being stupid, affecting everyone around you, and I'm just like, well, fuck. You're stupid. It's like, I could probably explain that in better words, but honestly, that's how I feel right now.
Well, question.
I'm half of the.
You look at something, you see that it's stupid. Ask yourself the next question of, can I actually do anything about that right now?
I mean, democracy.
Hence, I'm doing my part. My ballot is waiting to be filled out, and I have, spoken to my parents. My parents and I have a lot of conversations about how we feel about these movements and whatnot, these props and all that thing. There are ways to do your part, but if, like I said, if you're sitting there right now and all that's going through your brain is, this fucker is so stupid, you're not doing anything for yourself.
I guess my thing is, I don't have anything right now except for my voice. Mm-hmm. This is where I'm coming from. Like, to me, the one thing that I have and the one thing that I can give is my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So, remove that, what do I have? And that's where I've always like stood. And that's how I've always thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not reacting to it and my contribution is this, like, what am I doing?
What do you mean by your contribution?
Okay, so according to our constitution, the sovereign resides in the people. In this democracy, it's the will of the people who should be followed, right? So it's like, to me, I am not in public service. I am not in like doing non-government work. I'm not like, there's nothing else I'm contributing to this except for my voice.
Mm-hmm. So are you going to contribute to every single situation that happens when over a dozen can happen in one day?
If I can.
and you've already said at the beginning of this episode that it is taking a big toll on you and you don't want to be as mad as anymore. See these conundrums you're putting yourself in? Like these are paradoxical things, and there's nothing wrong with any of this. I'm just saying it's paradoxical. It's just I don't. It not that my opinion means anything in this particular thing I'm about to say. Like it does suck seeing you in that state, because I wish I could do something. I know it's not my place to, but also you being in distress also makes the people you love distressed as well, because they just want to see you happy. So if you're going to quote unquote contribute, or really the term is react to literally every shitty thing that happens, you're not gonna, it's gonna be, you're gonna have terrible days.
It's like, it's just, I've always worked with this timeline, right? Some shitty thing happens, I do something to fix it, it's fixed. But in this particular context, it's like some shitty thing happens, I can't fix it, I get mad at it. And then another shitty thing happens, I can't fix it, I get even more mad at it. And then it just compounds. And it's like, I get it, I get how math works in theory. That means I have to change the equation because I can't get to the solution I want. To get to a solution, it's either the equation works or you change the equation. So it's like, I get, yeah. I mean, I get it. I logically get it. I just, how to get there. It's there's also that disconnect in my brain where I go like that. I know this is something that it's I have to change at this point, right? But it's also like, when, because like at first it was just like I can do it. Like at first I was like, I'm mad and I'm gonna do something about this anger, but now I'm just like mad. So I need to exercise, probably one.
Well, there's the whole
thing.
It's not just that. Like that'll help. Don't get me wrong. Like good diet, putting yourself in the best position to handle stress. Those are all things that are very important. So, I'll probably be sunshine and rainbows if I had like 10 pounds more of muscle mass. Sure, but really, I don't know. It's one of those things where this is actually one of those oxymoronic things between us, because while I will get upset about something in my life or something that I can control and it doesn't work out and it ruins my next 36 hours, when it comes to things like ballot burning in Baldwin Park, I'm pissed about it. I react to it for those next few minutes, and then I have to get back and focus on my shit. You're the exact opposite.
I was gonna say, I mean, this is how our relationship works, right? Mm-hmm. We help each other because obviously, as you guys can see and can hear from this conversation, like even how we react to things is vastly different. Like I am honestly not upset at anything in my personal life right now, which is what's upsetting me even more with how the world is working, because in my head I'm like, if I'm in such a loving relationship and I'm with someone I love so much who understands me, I can talk to anytime, I am so sure I can rely on. Like I don't even have that toxicity in my relationship, and then I get this toxicity from like what things that like I can, you know what I mean? Like it upsets me that I have chosen to not deal with toxicity in my life, and yet in spite and despite of all these things I do to not have this toxicity, I am being shoved toxicity by virtue of the powers that be. And that upsets me even more. Well, it's like, I mean, I feel like my life is so beautiful because I have a lovely family, I have lovely friends, I have a lovely relationship. But outside of that, it just sucks, and that's what makes me mad. And now that I hear myself saying that, I feel guilty because I'm like, ano ba, you have a lovely life and now you're so mad about like what this government is doing, and just enjoy your lovely life.
You don't have to feel guilty about it, but it is a realization that I feel like does have to happen. That's where I am, honestly. Like I'm over here just like I might do a sponsorship in a week about candy, and I'm diabetic, and I'm just over here like fuck it. Like it's
what candy?
It's fun.
Candy?
I can't say, but I might I can't say what candy it is. But
okay. I want candy. In Aaron Carter's great words, I want candy.
But like,
Can you tell them that you want the sponsorship to be you sending your girlfriend candy?
if they can pay for shipping,
Sweets for my sweet.
if they can pay for
That is
shipping.
an idea.
Well,
But like,
first off,
yeah.
I'm glad that you like. First of all, the boyfriend the boyfriend in me, the boyfriend side of me is very happy to hear all those things you just said. But also the but that's really the realization that we all are going to come to at some point, right? Like, as much as we want to be as active in the world as possible, and we will be in any capacity that we can, at some point we have to build the life that we want and live in that life. And that's
it's
what
like
that's where I am at this point, because
my ear, my irregularly shaped ear.
there's a whole group
I'm
of
not even mad at my irregularly shaped ear.
there's a whole group of
Go
people
on.
right now that are leaving California actually to live in more rural areas because they want to save money, they want to have less taxes, all those things. Fine, cool. And my brother and I were talking about this, like, could you really do that though? Like, could you live in that particular city? Because we've been there and it doesn't seem like it would be fun ultimately to live in, to visit, sure. And I was like, you know what? I get it. I've been watching these people for a long time on YouTube. I get it. Watching their vlogs and watching their daily life, they are the kind of people that go do work, come home, enjoy the home that I was able to get with the family I was able to build. That's really all they need out of life. And I was like, you know what? I get that. I kind of get that.
I mean, what I've realized about myself in this lockdown, I told you this, like I used to dream of like living in a city where everything's happening and I go walk downstairs and there's a coffee shop and I walk like somewhere because in my dream scenario there are sidewalks where I live and people and pedestrians can walk. That is a very Filipino thing. Context, you can't walk anywhere here.
Yep.
You can't wear nice clothes when you're walking out because like you become a target. I mean, there are places you can walk at and they're very posh, but like in a general sense. So like I've always wanted that, but then now I realize like if I live in a house by the woods and go into town to get supplies every 2 weeks, I'd be happy too. And that is something I never thought about, like that I'd want.
Yeah.
But then now I'm just like, maybe
I
we
just-
should like build a bunker or something.
I mean, I just want a nice, let's say, I'll use the word loft because artists loft, people, millennials usually, millennial creatives tend to think of lofts. I just want a dope kitchen where I can make food and maybe ultimately make food content. And just
Gym.
have a squat rack in the corner with the right weights, yes. And yeah, after that, just have spaces to be able to film and whatnot, and have it be in a neighborhood that I can actually feel like I can go around in the middle of the day. Even at night, sure, but it's not really the biggest requirement for me, to be honest. But like, here's the thing, though. You just said yourself that you're in a good place as far as your life is concerned.
It's ultimately like I've been so mad, and then that guy commenting that I'm living my best life. It's like it felt almost wrong that someone else had to point it out to me.
Where's all this
like,
judgment coming from? Where are all of these things coming from where you're just saying it's wrong, I feel bad, I'm terrible? Like, where's all this coming from?
No, it's like literally I'm in the best spot in my life in terms of my family, my relationship, and my work. And I've been so mad I haven't even noticed.
Well, there's your revelation. Is what I'm trying to get at.
And that's why I feel sort of happy about that, but at the same time, why I want to be less mad is just so that I am able to appreciate these things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I want to be less mad. Because I'm like, I literally have been running on autopilot the last few months that I have not realized this.
Mm-hmm. No, there you go.
And it's like, all bad things I mean, there are bad things. And it's not just like outwards now. It's like family-wise, like my lola passed away and like that like, I don't even want to get into that. But it's like, outside of that though, like if we go glass half full, it's like everything is doing well, like very what's another word for well that's even better? What is the like what worst? Like what is the it's best? No, it's not best, but like it's
Yeah,
well then it's even more than like
yeah.
my English is failing me right now. But it's like
That's the thing. Like,
I think
there are no real action steps to a mental thing. There are only things that we try and things that we try to put ourselves in, steps that we take to put ourselves in the best position. So, but the realization, the motivation or inspiration behind taking those steps is what is most important. And you just said it out loud right now. That you know that the things around you are things you appreciate. The fact that you're doing this, the fact that you have me in front of you via computer is something to be appreciative
via
of.
2 monitors that I will have a video on, so check it out on my channel.
So those are all like that kind of realization is what is most important, and you are coming to that. It doesn't matter that it came from somebody else. You get a reminder from anybody.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I am thankful for it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a comment. It's a not to be religious because I'm really not, but like in a figure of speaking, it's a blessing in disguise.
Well, you don't have to be
that
religious.
someone randomly said that.
Spiritual is not. It's probably the better word.
Yeah. It's not to be like. It's a little tiny reminder that has helped me. Just like, you know this, and I think for the people who are listening, you probably have noticed this. But sometimes there are things that I need to get, and I need to get it by arranging it in my brain
Out loud.
and I know, yeah, out loud. And I know you know this about me, as my manager Nin is learning about me as well after replying to her with a barrage of messages and then ultimately going like, okay, never mind. I just needed to say that to get to my decision, which is this.
Yeah. Which is why,
so
again,
it's
like I said before, you asking me how do I stop being mad? It's like, I'm not going to give you, in what world do you think what I say is actually something you'll do? You've never written in a notebook. You've never done a gratitude journal, I mean.
Hey!
No, you've written in a notebook. You've never done a gratitude journal. You've never meditated. You've never, like, we got into lifting together and that's fine. But, like, yeah, the action items from me, you never do. And I'm only like 25% upset at that in this sentence.
I mean, I never do them, but it's the conversation around the action items that we talk about.
Which is where I'm focusing.
Like 100%.
Which is what I'm focusing on is you just said it out loud that you know you're in a good place to appreciate it, so that you have a place to go to where if you find your trigger and you find yourself getting really upset, remind yourself of the fact that I'm here right now. I am okay. Like I will go back to focusing on what is in front of me, and what is in front of me is not that bad. And this is the one thing I really want to drive home, and I've noticed this with you 3 years in our relationship. I just need to say this. You're constantly putting judgment on your thoughts. That is a recipe for disaster when despair is all that's in your brain. Like when you're telling yourself, I just feel guilty that, you're the one who made yourself feel guilty. Whose guilt are you trying to appease? Who around you is going to actually make you feel guilty for not being upset or taking care of yourself? No one. I'm not going to call you one day and say, hey, I haven't heard you rant in a couple days. What's wrong? Like, I'm not going to do that. There's none of that. No one in your life will do that. So why are you putting that amount of pressure on yourself is my question.
I don't know.
No one, like, remember, no one around you is going to make you feel bad for not being some sort of, like, mad all the time person. So that's that.
You're right.
If you ask me, that's the thing I want to drive home. No action items, no nothing. Just from the outside looking in and knowing the way that you putting that much pressure and judgment on yourself is the reason why this is taking a toll.
And that's why we're
I knew you were going to do that.
Together. No, I mean, yeah, you're right. And probably things I needed to hear. It's like you get so caught up in trying to be a certain person that you want to be that somewhere along the way there's judgment attached to you not being that person.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's also like we are not caricatures of who we are. Like there's nuance and there's everyday movement in between those things that we want to define ourselves as.
Yeah,
And it doesn't have to be that 150% of the time.
absolutely. And it's also that we like how people react to the way that we are sometimes, that we instinctively try to be that more. And if you it's kind of a specific, not really specific, but it's a weird way to put it. This is a specific hypothetical. Let's say you put out an IG story or a TikTok being mad about something and it's met with 10,000 very positive likes. Those people see you for those 15 or 60 seconds once or twice every few days. Why are we putting so much effort and stressing ourselves out so much to try to be that 15-second or 60-second person 24 hours a day?
Yeah, you're right.
Which is why I love it whenever I go off on somebody on the internet and everyone's surprised. Like that's fun. Because that's actually who I really am. Like I'm a ranty motherfucker. Like I will walk in. I used to be known in college for walking into a room and having something I was upset about. And then I would just sit there. I would just sit there for 20 minutes just being like, and another thing, this what fucking and people loved that because like it was comedic in a way because of my delivery of like letting out my frustration.
Anger.
Yeah. But I learned to not be like that too often anymore because when you exercise that muscle too much, it becomes muscle memory and that's how you react to everything.
Yeah.
So I don't want to react that way to something you do. I don't want to react that way to you as my girlfriend when you don't deserve it, especially.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think I need I don't know what I need. I need to not be mad. No, it's okay. Okay, so I think the takeaway is that I don't need to be not mad. I just need to not react mad to everything.
Honestly, my main thing would be to try and not pass judgment on every little thing, especially when it comes to the way you react to things. That's how I would put it. Because you saying something like, I just don't want to be so mad anymore, is you passing judgment on the fact that you are. It's saying that I'm mad and that's not good. It's like, no one said that. Nobody said that you being mad is a bad thing. On top of that, you saying I need to, like, I just feel guilty if I'm not mad. Why are you passing judgment on it again? Like, no one is saying that. Literally no one is saying that.
What if it's I'm tired because I'm mad?
Tired is fine. That's what I was saying earlier with, if you're burned out and you just need a minute, take that minute. That's not a judgment. That's your body and your brain telling you, oh shit, let's slow down. Let's slow down and let's take a second. Like when your brain starts snowballing into a mountain, like you need not even take a deep breath, just pause and just realize that you're starting to spout out a billion things at once, which is overwhelming. Not just to you, but to the people you're snowballing it on.
Yeah.
By the way, audience, this was her idea to talk about this.
Well, I'm thinking about it. It's again,
I just don't want
audience.
I don't
this is
want
more
the
for me.
Yeah, I don't want the audience
more
to
for you than it's.
Well, it's just funny if the audience was thinking like, "Man, Josh is letting her have it." I'm like, "No, she wanted this."
No, yeah, this is more for me than it is for you.
No, I need it too. I need reminders like this too. Like over the weekend, I felt like absolute shit, and I was passing judgment on myself for not doing anything. Like I literally laid in bed and I felt like crap, and I just had Parks and Rec in the background. And here's the thing, like something as simple as me having my favorite show in the background, I was actually making myself feel bad for still doing that. Like, oh, why do you still need this shit? Like, why do you need to have
I
it in the
think
background? Why do you keep doing this? Like, it just makes you not work, and it's just this bad talk.
I think there's also pressure to be okay, I think, which is what I'm realizing now.
Mm-hmm.
Like feeling mad about things, and then feeling mad that I'm feeling mad about things, and then feeling like I should be okay are still expectations on myself.
Mm-hmm. There are, yeah. We are our own worst critic. We are our own worst gaslighter. No one gaslights us better than ourselves. You could just ask a friend of the podcast, David and Mel. I don't even know if he's even ever watched an episode, but we still call him friend of the podcast. But there are times he's one of the only other people in my life, aside from you and maybe Brian and my brother and my family, who have witnessed me in what I call the cycle of despair, where I'm like, fuck, I didn't do this today. I feel terrible for not doing this today. But really, I shouldn't, so why the fuck am I feeling this way? I hate myself for that. Wait, why am I hating myself?
And
now I really hate myself because I'm hating myself. Everyone in the world tells me not to hate myself, but everyone in the world fucking sucks, so why do I fucking hate the fuck, and just all these things, right?
Yeah.
He literally called it, like, David's very good at just listening to me, let it all out. And
David is very good at just listening, even if I'm not speaking to him in English. So.
True. But also it's easy to just listen to someone on Telegram. You just don't type. But anyway, the one time when I was going through that, he was like, at some point I do have to, he said, at some point I do have to speak up and let you know that all of this, it's okay, it's fine, all that stuff. But at some point I do need to stop you, because I'm not just going to sit here and listen to you gaslight yourself over and over and over again. It's like the most creative gaslighting I've ever heard, because you could find yourself at a resolution and then find a problem with the resolution, which then makes you mad again, and then the fire's lit again. And even though you put out the fire next, you'll find another lighter. And like, it's crazy, right?
It's litty.
You and I are really good at that. We are really good at that. And here I am just telling you, we have to stop gaslighting ourselves, and we have to stop passing so much judgment on our own thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. Yes. That's my only yes. Yes. I have no other input here. It's I am taking that and trying to do that. I've learned to take things.
Mm-hmm.
What? Wait.
I just agreed. I'm sorry.
It's taking time to take things and think about it versus reacting to what's being said.
Yeah.
Which is a skill I have been trying to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good for podcasts, I guess, but very good for me in general.
I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not like a podcast is all reactionary anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, but like in conversations, because now I have nothing.
Oh, fair.
But yes. Okay, yes.
Yeah. But we'll be fine. Like, that's really it. And we know that we will, because we put in the work to take care of ourselves. We put in the work to take care of each other as best we can with the circumstances we're given right now, which suck, but sure. And yeah, like I saw like a few days, like over the last few days, that reminded me of just how awesome 2019 was for you and I. And
it was really awesome, wasn't it? We did like do a lot, wasn't there?
And I'm just planning,
didn't we?
And I'm just thinking in my head of all of the things that I do want to do once we're able to get back together again. And honestly,
picnic.
I kind of want, like, to be honest, you'll know what I mean when I say this. I don't mean it literally, but I want to replay all of those things we did last year. Like, I want to go
on a picnic.
we never went on a picnic. I want to go back to Japan. I want to go back to Seoul. I want to go back. Like, I want to go back.
Pot.
Yeah, I want to go back to all of those places.
And then that other hot pot.
Then this hot pot. And then
other hot pot. And then we went to like...
That's all I do,
matcha,
ladies and gentlemen.
Matcha.
That's all I do, ladies and gentlemen. I just take her to hot pot. That's the whole extent of our relationship.
Dude, I love hot pot. Like, I love hot pot, and like I love your mom even more for loving hot pot with me. Does that even make sense? I love it so much that I love your mom even more just for loving it with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, like I've been seeing those things too. And just to recap, you know, comparing two things is in and of itself a judgment. When in reality, those two things are just two things. So we have to stop judging so hard. It's the old Taoist in me that is coming out right now, and I need to revisit my Taoist teachings and books and just all that. Just being. Like, why?
And just being.
The only reason why some
Zen.
Well, Zen is a different philosophy, but sure. Same idea.
Yeah, but isn't like Zen Buddhism just being, just
kind of. There are certain teachings within said practices that are different, not contrary, but different. So Zen Buddhism is different from Taoism, is different from straight Buddhism, not just Zen Buddhism. Is different. Yeah. But yeah, a flower is a flower. The only reason why someone said it is beautiful is because somebody else said it was ugly. But when you really think about it, it's just a flower.
Huh. Huh. That makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite quotes.
I need time to think about that. Okay. We're ending there so I can think about it.
All right, cool.
And that was episode 9, ladies and gents. Podcast lesson for this week. Well, that it takes time. Time to perfect things, just like how finally on episode 9 there were no hitches during recording. And time to absorb things, just like I'm trying to absorb what I learned in this conversation. Join us again next week. Technically Together is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. The video version is on YouTube. Technically Together. Bye!